For more of this kind of content, you can subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. Marcus Chen stared at the assignment papers on his desk, coffee growing cold beside his laptop. The Ethereal Coalition had requested a human liaison for their Earth integration program. Not just any human, they wanted someone who wouldn't break under pressure. "You sure about this?" Dr. Sarah Mitchell asked, leaning against his office doorway. "The Ethereals aren't exactly known for their patience with our species." Marcus looked up from the documents. Lady Zara Nethys's photo stared back at him. Tall, elegant, with silver blue skin that seemed to shimmer even in still images. Her eyes held intelligence that made him uncomfortable, like she could see through any pretense. "The pay covers Kai's medical bills," Marcus said simply. His younger brother needed surgery they couldn't afford. "This assignment would change everything." Sarah frowned. "Money isn't worth your sanity, Marcus. These aren't diplomatic visits. You'll be living in the same facility, working together daily. The Ethereals have intense personalities." Marcus signed the contract anyway. 2 days later, he stood outside the Geneva Integration Center, a massive glass structure that housed both human and alien research teams. The building hummed with activity, humans in lab coats rushing past, floating ethereal nobles who moved with liquid grace. Lady Zara waited in the main lobby. She was even more imposing in person, standing nearly 7 feet tall with an aura of controlled power. Her traditional robes marked her as nobility, but her hands showed the calluses of someone who worked with her mind and body. "Marcus Chen," she said, her voice carrying a musical quality that made his name sound foreign. "You are smaller than expected." "You're exactly as intimidating as advertised," Marcus replied. Something flickered in her eyes. Surprise, maybe amusement. "Good. Intimidation serves a purpose here." She gestured toward the elevator. "We have work to do." The elevator ride felt eternal. Zara studied him like a specimen under a microscope. Finally, she spoke. "Your file indicates you have a sibling requiring medical intervention." Marcus tensed. "That's personal." "Everything is personal when you're living in close quarters," Zara replied. "I need to understand your motivations. Desperate humans make poor partners." "I'm not desperate," Marcus said. "I'm determined." Zara's expression softened slightly. "Perhaps there is a difference." The elevator doors opened to reveal their shared laboratory space. "Welcome to Project Synthesis, Mr. Chen. Try not to disappoint me." 3 weeks into the project, Marcus had learned to read Zara's moods. Today, tension radiated from her like heat from a furnace. She stood rigid at the main workstation, silver fingers flying over holographic displays with sharp, aggressive movements. "Problem?" Marcus asked, setting down his morning coffee. "Commander Vex arrives today," Zara said without looking up. "He represents the military faction that opposes human integration." Marcus had heard whispers about Vex. Where Zara's people valued cooperation, Vex's faction saw humans as inferior beings, unworthy of ethereal technology and knowledge. The laboratory doors hissed open. Commander Vex entered like a storm front, broader than Zara, with darker blue skin marked by ritual scars. His military uniform bore medals Marcus didn't recognize, but their weight was obvious. "Lady Nethys," Vex said, his voice carrying authority and disdain. "Still playing with your human pets, I see." Zara straightened to her full height. "Commander Vex, Mr. Chen is my research partner, not a pet." Vex's gaze fell on Marcus with obvious disgust. This creature is what you've chosen to represent your great experiment? He stepped closer to Marcus, invading his personal space. Weak bones, soft skin, limited intelligence. I could break him without effort. Marcus felt his heart rate spike, but held his ground. Strength isn't just physical, Commander. Vex laughed, a harsh sound. Brave words from something so fragile. His hand moved toward Marcus's shoulder, fingers extended like claws. Don't. Zara's voice cut through the air like a blade. Vex paused, hand inches from Marcus. Protecting your pet already? I'm protecting my partner, Zara said, stepping between them. Her posture shifted into something predatory. And if you touch him, I will remind you why my house holds its position in the coalition. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Vex's scarred face twisted into a sneer. You would threaten a military commander for this human? Zara's eyes blazed. I would end you for touching what's under my protection. The standoff stretched for heartbeats. Finally, Vex stepped back. This isn't over, Lady Nethys. Your experiment will fail, and when it does, I'll be here to clean up the mess. He turned and left. Marcus realized he'd been holding his breath. Thank you. Zara's fierce expression softened. Thank you for not backing down. Many humans would have cowered. My brother taught me something, Marcus said. Courage isn't about not being scared. It's about doing what's right, despite the fear. The weeks following Vex's visit were intense. Zara pushed their research harder, as if trying to prove humanity's worth through pure determination. Marcus found himself staying late, matching her relentless pace. Your brother, Zara said one evening as they calibrated quantum resonance equipment. Tell me about him. Marcus looked up, surprised by the personal question. Kai's 15. He was born with a rare bone condition. Without surgery, he'll be in a wheelchair by 20. And you're here instead of with him. Guilt twisted in Marcus's stomach. The money from this project pays for his treatment. He understands. Zara set down her tools. My sister died in our civil war. I was training off-world when it happened. I couldn't protect her. Her voice carried old pain. Protection means different things to different people. They worked in comfortable silence after that, but something had shifted between them. Trust, maybe. Understanding. The breakthrough came 3 days later. Their quantum synthesis process finally stabilized, creating a perfect fusion of human and ethereal technology. The achievement should have been cause for celebration, but Zara seemed troubled. What's wrong? Marcus asked. Vex will see this as validation of his fears, Zara said. Human ethereal cooperation, producing something neither could achieve alone. He'll try to stop us. She was right. The next morning, Vex returned with a full security detail. By order of the Military Council, this project is terminated. The human will be removed from the facility. You have no authority here, Zara said, rising from her workstation. I have the authority to protect ethereal interests, Vex replied. This fusion technology is too dangerous in human hands. Marcus stepped forward. This isn't about technology. It's about fear. You're afraid that humans aren't as inferior as you believed. Vex's scarred face darkened. You dare speak to me of fear, creature? I dare speak truth to power, Marcus said. Your own people chose cooperation. You represent the past, not the future. Vex moved faster than Marcus could react, his clawed hand reaching for Marcus's throat. But Zara was faster. Her hand caught Vex's wrist in a grip that made the commander grunt with pain. I warned you once, she said, her voice carrying deadly calm. Touch him again, and you die. The security detail reached for their weapons, but other ethereals in the lab moved to block them. The integration project had supporters Vex hadn't counted on. "This is treason," Vex hissed. "This is evolution," Zara replied, not releasing his wrist. "And you're on the wrong side of it." The standoff exploded into chaos. Vex's security forces activated energy weapons, while ethereal scientists scrambled for cover. Marcus dove behind a workstation as purple energy blasts scorched the air above his head. Zara moved like liquid lightning, her noble training revealing itself in combat. She disarmed one soldier and used his weapon to disable 2 others before they could react. But there were too many of them. "Surrender now, and the human lives," Vex shouted over the weapon fire. "Continue this madness, and I'll make his death slow." That was Vex's mistake. Marcus watched Zara's expression change from controlled anger to pure fury. Her silver-blue skin darkened to deep cobalt, and her eyes began to glow with inner light. "You should not have threatened him," she said, her voice echoing with harmonics that made the laboratory equipment vibrate. Marcus had read about ethereal combat rage, but never seen it. Zara's fury transformed her into something beyond human comprehension. She moved through Vex's forces like a force of nature, not just fighting, but dominating. Her martial arts were fluid and devastating, each strike precise enough to disable without killing. Vex himself rushed toward Marcus, energy blade drawn. "If I can't stop this project, I'll remove its inspiration." Zara intercepted him mid-charge. The collision sent shockwaves through the laboratory. They fought with speed and ferocity that blurred the line between combat and dance. But Zara's rage gave her an edge that pure skill couldn't match. She caught Vex's blade between her palms, the energy crackling harmlessly around her hands. "You want to know the difference between humans and us?" she said, her voice carrying that dangerous harmonic. "They inspire us to be better than we are." With a twist of her wrists, she shattered the energy blade. Vex staggered backward, shock replacing arrogance on his scarred face. "Impossible," he breathed. "No one can destroy military-grade weapons barehanded." "No one could," Zara agreed, "until I had something worth protecting beyond myself." The remaining security forces had stopped fighting, awed by the display. Even they understood that Vex had pushed too far. Marcus emerged from cover, his heart pounding. "Zara?" She turned to him, her skin slowly returning to its normal silver blue, eyes fading from their supernatural glow. "Are you hurt?" "No, but you," Marcus gestured helplessly. "What you did was incredible." Zara looked at her hands, as if seeing them for the first time. "I didn't know I could do that either." She faced Vex, who was struggling to his feet. "Leave, now. If you return, I won't show restraint." Vex gathered his defeated forces and limped toward the exit. At the doorway, he turned back. "This isn't finished." "Yes, it is," Zara said simply. "You just don't know it yet." In the quiet aftermath, Marcus and Zara stood among the damaged equipment. Other ethereals worked to repair what could be salvaged, their expressions mixing respect and amazement as they glanced at Zara. "Your rage," Marcus said. "That was beyond normal ethereal abilities." Zara nodded slowly. "Emotional resonance amplification. It's theoretical, not practical. Except this. Except when the emotional connection is genuine." She looked at him directly. "Vex was right about one thing. This project changed me. Changed both of us." Marcus understood. Over months of working together, something had grown between them that transcended species barriers. Not just professional respect or friendship, but something deeper, something worth protecting. Dr. Sarah Mitchell arrived with coalition officials, her face pale with worry. "Marcus, are you all right?" "The reports we received, all Paul," Marcus said, "better than fine." "All Paul." One of the coalition officials, an elegant ethereal with ceremonial markings, approached Zara. "Lady Nethys, your actions today will have consequences. The military council will not ignore what happened here." "Let them come," Zara replied. "Today proved that human ethereal cooperation creates something neither species can achieve alone. Our research succeeds. Our bond strengthens us both. They can accept that reality or fight it, but they cannot change it." The officials studied them both. "And Mr. Chen, how do you view these developments?" Marcus thought about his brother Kai, about the surgery that would soon be possible thanks to this project. But more than that, he thought about what he'd learned from Zara and what she'd learned from him. Crisp. "I learned that strength comes in many forms," Marcus said. "Physical, mental, emotional. But the strongest force is choosing to protect those who matter to you. Humans call it love. Ethereals call it honor. Maybe they're the same thing." Zara smiled, the expression transforming her face. "Perhaps they are." Later that evening, as they cleaned up the laboratory, Zara spoke quietly. "Your brother will have his surgery. The coalition approved funding for all medical needs of integration project staff families." Marcus felt tears in his eyes. "Thank you. Thank you," she replied. "You taught me that true strength isn't about standing alone. It's about standing together." The story teaches us that real strength comes not from power or pride, but from the courage to protect those we care about and the wisdom to see value in those who are different from us. Love and loyalty transcend all boundaries, whether of species, culture, or circumstance. When we choose to stand together rather than apart, we become stronger than the sum of our individual parts. The greatest victories are won not through force, but through the decision to value connection over control, understanding over prejudice, and cooperation over domination.